Fuck Crunchyroll. You've heard me say it a million times, but every so often someone asks me why exactly I do and if I hate legit sites for existing. Well, the short answer is a lot of reasons for Crunchyroll, and no, I don't hate legit streaming sites. Let's go over this in detail. Crunchyroll started as a site where users could upload their own videos of anime, video games, and even music videos. Within months, they updated their site with Asian dramas and forums. Crunchyroll was created by a user going by the name Shinji, who, at the time of the old FAQ, was a second-year college student. He states in his user profile that he made Crunchyroll for me and my friends, so it would be easy for us to share our videos with each other. But they leaked to other people, and it's grown into something I never really expected. Hopefully, Crunchyroll can help spread anime and create fans around the world. Back in 2006, Crunchyroll was being established with the hopes and dreams of sharing videos online, similar to another site, YouTube, where people would upload content not specifically geared towards anime. The name Crunchyroll is somewhat mysterious since the origin is open to interpretation, since any roll, specifically the California roll, can be crunchy due to its addition of tempura flakes on the outside and in some cases the inside, which can then be implied that everyone has a different style of their take on anime. In December 2007, Shinji claimed they voluntarily quit their jobs and ventured out to find investors. Venrock, a venture arm of the Rockefeller family, decided to fund their new startup business. That's when Shinji says they have been very aggressively licensing content and taking down unlicensed content. When this happened, Crunchyroll began monetization strategies, ad-supported free streaming, the Crunchyroll Premium service, along with download to own and virtual merchandising. DTO, or download to own, came to fruition through Steam by Valve with select titles. Virtual merchandising did as well with opening their own merch store, which features clothing, figures, DVDs and Blu-rays, and even snacks. In late 2008, like Shinji had mentioned, they were announcing a major move into going legit by signing deals with TV Tokyo, Shueisha, and Pirate, all of which produce mainstream titles like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, etc. Let's stop there because if we do too much information about their history, we won't get to why I hate Crunchyroll, so let's begin where we left off. Since its inception, Crunchyroll was made for the people, by the people at its core. Like Faku or any other startup that wants to go legit has this issue of either making money and compromising on their vision, or they rely on crowdfunding and host them illegally and possibly taken to court and sued. So where do my issues lie? Typos and inaccuracies in subtitles, worthless video player, money for the industry, and the industry standard, which we'll get into last. Typos aren't uncommon when dealing with translating something and localizing it, if they're a digital medium like visual novels, video games, or anything of the sort. However, when you're a major company with a known schedule of putting subtitles series out within an hour, you better deliver on that promise. Crunchyroll has had instances of typos in their series, not just smaller titles, but bigger names like Naruto. Like, what is this alien thing doing here? Sure, one instance of typos isn't enough to make a big fuss, but let's look at other cases of their subtitle misdeeds. Inaccuracies is what this can be labeled as, since fan subs have a better way to keep context intact. In the case of a series like Hibike Euphonium, scenes like this one are meant to convey more information in less words. However, Crunchyroll makes these text strings not only longer, but lose almost any sense of a human saying these things. Crunchyroll also apparently likes mixing up files like in the case of JoJo and Fruit Baskets. The subtitles for those were traded but didn't make any sense. Now I will give you this, again, human error can happen, but would it kill them to check the file that starts with a J and one that starts with an F? They're like a $1.2 billion company. This oversight either results in a termination over time or a bonus because Crunchyroll doesn't know how to manage money. Just wait for it. Their useless video player, which only received a new refresh because they had to do it. With the closure of Flash at the end of last year of 2020, Crunchyroll had begun the transition with their HTML5 player in late 2019, rolling it out to 50% by October 2019. The video player now works, thankfully. I mean, it pays when you change your website to actually somewhat work and not host malware on it. So what were the shortcomings of the web player? Well, once you started an episode, you couldn't go back to 000 because the video player was so awful. But even with that minor but frustrating inconvenience, the biggest offender was, and in some cases, is their compression of video streams. Before you start on this being an old issue, let's think of this. When you were paying them money to be one of the 1 million paying subscribers, they decided that you're stupid cattle because you might have never noticed that they compressed their videos on their site. This isn't me saying this is something they said. Big ups to Unique Namosaurus for not only making a video about piracy that featured this, but also for bringing this to the forefront. According to Chris Kennedy, you wouldn't look for or know the difference unless a fan subber, or as they call them, pirates, told you about them and pointed it out.
The PNG comparison tools, that seemed to be the big deal there. Customers responded with diligent community analysis of their quality expectations. It was very interesting in the forums we saw, analyzing which CRF levels we used and suggestions, and people that worked for companies streaming video that gave us lots of good input that these are things we want to do. So we also, the pirates took advantage of the PR move they could do, and they were definitely taking as much advantage as they could, and it was interesting how they followed Crunchyroll since years ago when we first popped up. They appeared as watching us. They've been around. So yeah, internal employees, customers saw, now we know, so it's a whole different playing field. And fortunately, we are right now at the point where we're just about ready to be able to scale our cloud encoding horizontally and then just grab that back catalog and add the higher quality and mid-level qualities and just fix everything. But customers are every day somewhere they're saying, when are you going to do it? So we're being watched. Here's a quote that I grabbed from the forum that shows it's sad because we really need to be careful because people will accept low quality like this, but it's just like anything where if you think you fooled somebody and it's great, it's probably not, because when they find out they're